everything that we do as an organization is very much in partnership with our school administrators, with our state school boards association, with each of the BOCES, which are ESAs throughout the state. I really feel nobody can do it alone. But if you take your part, I take my part, that's great. Let's do it together and make something even bigger.
Yeah. Collaboration.
We're also using AI to analyze all of that writing in the background and giving the teachers powerful data that they can use, because we've all been in front of a classroom, you have 28 kids sitting in front of you. Who do I talk to today?
Yeah.
You don't really ever know. But if I could say, here's the 3 kids I need to at least, hey, are you okay today? Come see me at lunchtime if you need someone to talk to. If I can get a little bit of an insight like that, we can make some powerful changes inside the schools.
It never has been up to the adult to look at students in a room, and the adult is the sole decider of what they feel is the best way students should learn. I mean, that's why we talk about amplifying student voice all the time. So if you understand, go back to the RIASEC themes, if you understand someone is social or realistic or investigative or artistic, well, if you have voice and choice inside of a classroom and you can play to those themes. So it's not about memorization, it's about mastery of content. It's about transfer of knowledge. I mean, these are simple foundational things that are not so simple to the masses.
I call myself a tech therapist. I do.
And it's, yes.
Like a therapist most days, because what our teachers need right now is for us to listen. And so I walk through in this session this afternoon, it's called Next Level Coach. And I walk through how to be a good listener. How can we ask questions to get to what they need? And a lot of teachers just need that first and foremost before we can actually move them.
There's several higher ed folks at this conference, and I think that's a way to create that collaboration in order for higher ed to see what K-12 is doing and vice versa, is come to something like this, hear from people like you that see the spectrum, and then be able to sit together at a table and share, count numbers together like you guys did, to be able to share and get to know who they are, and then you start to realize, we got a lot in common. And it's about teaching students.
The question used to be, what happens when that student Googles your homework? Well, now what happens when that student AIs your responses? So how do we teach them, okay, yes, it's okay to use AI, but look at the response, pick it apart, make sure it aligns to what you are actually saying, because other than that, you're creating a picture of someone else that does not really depict who you are.
And so even when the kids would come to my grade level, 3rd grade, they were so deficient in certain technical skills, just being able to type. And it's because their prior grade didn't allow them to type stuff. So I knew then that, you know what, I want to help get this awareness to other teachers, because I do believe when they can see it, then they'll buy into it. So that was that pivotal moment where I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to go ahead and get out of the classroom and move into instructional technology specialist.
I tell my own 2 children, as well as my students, charity begins at home.
Yeah.
You got to take care of your people and learn the empathy and sympathy that you need so that you can help others, right? So I wanted to bring that to campus, and that structure of solving real life problems.
But our family engagement team is almost their one stop for everything. And so if they're having tech issues, they'll reach out to their FEL. If they're, if we're having attendance issues, usually we will reach out to the FEL to call, and, the teachers can ask them questions because they have a little bit more context about what might be happening at home with the family. And so they serve a really pivotal role in our ability to maintain the connection between school and home, because that is their primary job.
As we look at data lakes and data warehouses, and as folks start to kind of trend into layering over AI on top of their data so they can talk to the data and get away from dashboards, you're going to see, I think, a huge programming push in order to get AI, AI from the on-prem in your data center or in the cloud, a cloud that you own, a private cloud, or a cloud that you are leasing. You're going to see a lot more AI stacked over your data, so there's going to be a lot of processing there as well.
It's time for us to really share some of the great things that have been made possible because of using our devices, right? We're doing global collaboration. We're doing webinars, and we're Skyping with astronauts, and there's just things that are happening with our devices that wouldn't be possible without them. That's really great. And it's not playing Candy Crush or doom scrolling.
We can't stick our heads in the sand, especially if our whole job is as educators to prepare kids for the real world. When you have companies like Shopify and Duolingo and probably others who are saying, look, we're not hiring anybody else unless you can prove that AI can't do that job. If that's the job market we're sending our kids into, what are we doing? And what's going to happen to them if they walk into that type of environment completely unprepared, or even if they're trying to apply for these entry-level jobs that require 5 years of work experience, that even if they're still there, they're going to be up against somebody who's applying to 1,000 different jobs in a week because they're using AI to churn out their applications.